Okay guys, first things first. This is not a video that you would typically see on a trad bow or traditional bow channel, but I feel like it's important to do. But before I get to that and what we're doing here today, I'm just going to go take care of a little housekeeping, if you will. You know, it's funny, when I started making these videos, I didn't know if anybody would watch them, and I have just been totally blindsided by the support that I've gotten since I've started the Whiskey City Traditional YouTube channel, and that wouldn't be possible without all of you people that are watching. I haven't put up a video in a while, and let me tell you why. I think it's 73 sits that I've gotten a stand in the deer woods this year. I've already harvested a buck and a doe, but I've been working pretty hard to get that second buck in a reduction zone, and I'm limited to what I can hunt in a reduction zone, so it's really been challenging. I've been chasing one specific buck, and so far he's winning. So anyway, long story short, that's where I've been. So I haven't really released any videos, but you know, with 72 sits and many of them being all day sits, kind of got burnt out. I just kind of got burnt out this season. I've really been spending a lot of time in the woods, and don't get me wrong, I wouldn't trade any of it for nothing. However, I just kind of reached a little bit of fatigue. So I've taken the last couple weeks off, and I've spent time around my friends and family here the last 3 weeks, and enjoyed Christmas and going to ring in the new year and all that. And then I'm going to try to get out for some late season hunting in January here in Indiana. So that's where I've been. That's why I haven't been releasing any videos. Just been tied up, trying to get the best content I can for you guys. So anyway, moving on. Today's video is all going to be about a video that I saw of a raccoon getting into a turkey nest and just robbing the turkey nest of all the eggs. The hen put up the best fight that she possibly could. However, that raccoon wiped out that whole turkey nest. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And the thing about raccoons in our area, I mean, you know, it's pretty much a scavenger animal. I know you can eat them, so on and so forth, but we're loaded with them. We're just absolutely loaded with them. Fur hides, raccoon hides aren't as worth as much as they were in the 80s, 70s, 60s. We don't have as many tree dog guys. We don't have as many coon hunters as we did. You know, being that the fur prices went down, so did the coon hunters. And, you know, I grew up cutting my teeth on coon dogs and tree dogs, and I love the sport. I totally respect the sport. However, there's just not very many of them anymore. Ones that are out there don't have to go very far from the house, because I would suspect, in Indiana anyway, the coon population is at an all-time high. Nobody's really chasing them. So, and as far as trappers go, they've dwindled down. The fur prices have went down, and I don't think the trapper numbers are at an all-time high, by no means. So anyway, having said that, I think it's my responsibility, at least on my place, to keep those balance numbers in check the best I possibly can. I mean, there's several ways to do that, but there's one way I choose to do it. I'm going to show that to you all here today. And it's the most simple method that you can come up with. It's a dog-proof trap. Now, this is a Duke dog-proof trap. That's the brand name of it. And the reason they call it dog-proof is because a dog can't get their paw down in there to set the trigger. Okay, and I want to get up here where you can see this. First, let me prerequisite this video with, I am not a professional trapper by any means. I'm trying to show traditional bow hunters, traditional archers out there, something that is really simple, that don't take a whole lot of brain power to keep your balance numbers in check, keep the coons and those ground nest predators at a minimum, to maybe help your turkey population for the spring. I totally enjoy turkey hunting. I've done it for a number of years, but I've really seen my turkey numbers go down here around my place. So with the trail cameras and everything I got out during deer season, I'm seeing my raccoon numbers go up. So it's time to thin them down. Yeah, I'm going to get to work doing that. Basically, you can set these with your hands. There's a little clasp in here. It's the grabber. It's a wire contraption. You squeeze this in just like this, and then you hook this bar right there on that dog, and there's a trigger inside of there. I don't know if you can see that or not. And when they pull it, it goes and it catches their hand in there. And that's basically about it. I mean, There's a myriad of videos out there on these things, so I'm not gonna go on and on about it. It's easily researchable. Just type in dog-proof trap. So anyway, here's one set. You know, and like I said, I set them with my hands, but they also make a little set. If you have any trouble getting the clasp in or getting that spring loaded, you can use this. It's already set right here, and you can tell that's what it looks like. The arm comes down, keeps the spring loaded bar, you know, keeps it pulled back, and it's hooked right there on the dog. So yeah, so when the coon comes by, reaches in there for the bait or whatever, pulls up on that trigger in there, traps them, gets them caught. And you know, it's then you dispatch them, get them out of the program. So anyway, yeah, so that's the Duke. Now all these traps aren't made the same. This is a Duke, and it's got a single trigger, meaning a single way trigger, I guess you would say. It's for the coon to come in here and reach in and get the bait. He's got to pull up on that lever that's in there. He'll feel it, he'll be reaching for bait, and he'll accidentally pull up on it, and that'll trigger a mechanism to go off. Now, I like those. Those are fine. I have used them before, and mostly all I've ever used was Duke. But I got familiar last year with a company called Z-Trap, and I ordered a bunch of new Z-Traps for this season because I'm an absolute believer in them. And the difference in the Z-Trap from the Duke is the Z-Trap is a two-way trigger. So the coon can push down on the trigger inside or pull up. So once that's hooked on the dog there and you're engaged, just a little movement of that trigger, him going after that bait inside that dog proof, he's caught. And then another thing I like is obviously these have this little metal plate right here. It's just, you think, why is that on there? Just for a logo? No, that's metal. You put it in there, keeps your trap from spinning, chances of falling over, dumping the bait out, so on and so forth. So yeah, so there's that. Now I like the Z-Trap so much that for the Whiskey City traditional archers and anybody watching this video, you can get these anywhere, but here at the club I'm going to offer these up this year, and this is basically just a Z-Trap starter kit. It comes with your Z-Trap, your raccoon bait, your Z-Trap cap, and your dog-proof trap setter all in one. And anybody that wants to think about taking out some of these ground egg predators, a couple of these, one of these is better than nothing. Two of them better than one, so on and so forth. So I'll have these available at the club. So now we're going to talk about how we're going to anchor these things, okay? So basically you go out there and I'm going to show you find a game trail somewhere you think the coons are going to be, jam it in the ground there, and you got this chain. I think it's about a 10, 11 inch chain that's coming off of it here. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. The simplest way that I found is basically you got half-inch rebar, 18-inch half-inch rebar with a washer welded right there on the top. You drive this all the way into the ground. That holds the trap right there. And I mean, that's just enough that a coon can't pull that out. And I've had good luck that way. Another way that I like to do it is these are called earth anchors, and I'll show you. I'll set a couple like this. This is a deal that it comes with a piece of rebar. You drive this down into the ground, pull up on it, turn sideways. It gives tension where the coon can't pull that trap out of the ground. Then you adhere it to the trap right there. So that's pretty good. Then another way is you can get you some 3/32 galvanized cable, just like this. And these are little cable slides or something. So I don't know what the technical name is for them, but it's got to fit a 3/32 galvanized braided metal wire. So you work that up through one side, work it down through the other, just like this. Give yourself enough slack, whatever that may be, whatever you want there. Then you get a crimping tool. And this isn't the right crimping tool, by the way. You got to get a bigger one for this bigger wire. And you crimp this piece on here, leaving a loop on the end, a little bit bigger than this probably, that you can put around the other, and you do a loop on the other end, and then you could just put this around a sapling or whatever and run your trap up through it. And anyway, there's plenty of videos on that too. That's just another way to go about doing it. Okay, guys, what do we use for bait? There's tons of raccoon bait out there, and you can get complicated. You can do it real simple. You can go to your DG or your local Dollar General or something and buy the cheapest bag of cat food that you can find. the cheapest bag of cat food you can find. Take one of these traps. You don't fill it up to the top by no means. You fill it up to just right below the trigger there, where the coon's got to reach in there and be right around that trigger, and you can see that plainly, no problem. And just take a piece or two, sprinkle it outside, put your cap on the top. You don't need a cap, just basically a cap. And what that does, it protects it from the elements. And also, I set along a lot of fields, and it protects mice from getting in there and setting off your trap by accident. So if you got a dry fired trap, and it looks like some of your bait's been pulled out of there or whatever, it's more than likely mice. So anyway, that cap kind of prevents that. It's just heavy enough the mouse can't get it off there. And the coon just pulls it off, chucks it to the side, and gets in there and gets what he wants. So this is called Funky by Trap and Tag Supplies. This is their Raccoon Delight, and it's wild cherry. And basically, if you look at this, these pellets in here, this is identical to, and I'm not going to say that's what it is, but it's identical to fish food. And basically you can go get a bag of fish food, the same thing you would feed fish in a pond or whatever, but it's like small kibble. It's like small dog kibble. And basically it smells just like cherry Kool-Aid. So basically what I did was went and got a bag of fish food, put 1 pack of cherry Kool-Aid, just the cheap, 25-cent pouch in I shook it all up, and it smells identical to that. Where it does separate just a little bit, I'll use a little bit of some coon attractant. And this is Coon Getter by Rapid Creek Trapping Supply, this Coon Getter. And I've used it before, and I'll just put a little bit of that around the trap as, an attractant just to bring them on in. One thing that I have kind of figured out in the little bit that I've done this is I seem to have better luck if I use a fish smelling attractant around water, and then I use a sweet smelling attractant up around fields. But around water, it seems like a fish smelling attractant works best. Up around the field is where your sweet attractants work pretty good. But don't get me wrong, if you're just getting into this and you want to buy a couple dog-proof traps and hit the ground running, go get some cat food. Just like I said earlier, just go get some cat food. Don't matter where you put it, just try to put them along some game trails, and we'll show you that. So anyway, that was a long run off a short dock. So yeah, so guys, I am going to quit talking here, and let's get out there and set a few traps. They're using it. It's a game trail, and it runs right in through here, and it's a small game trail. It's not a deer trail by no means. It's a small game trail where them coons are up in this thicket, and they're traveling in and out of the field right here. So we're gonna put one right here and see what happens. Okay, this is gonna be the homemade coon bait. That's it. And then I've got a attractant here. It's a coon scent trapping lure from Burnham Brothers. Burnham Brothers been around a long time. And this is real easy, and you can do this with your other scents too. You can put it in a little spray bottle, and all I do is spray a little around the edges there, and that's it. That trap is set. Switched up lures. This one's called a Daly's Triple Call. It's an animal gland lure. Just trying some different stuff here. Just a couple drops in there. All it takes. Show you guys the difference here. This, if you can see it, is a deer trail. Heavily used, pretty wide, nice and wide. A lot of deer sign along there. This over here, the smaller one, right here, that is a game trail. So we're gonna put one right here. When I told you guys I leave my turkey blinds out in that turkey blind video, I wasn't kidding. Here's another one. This is one of 3. This is a brick house blind by Maristep I left out, and I'll be hunting out of that this spring. And right behind it is a little game trail that's running right in behind it. So we're gonna set one right by the blind. Okay, I went a little extra here. I put one there, and one over there. This is an old garbage dump down in there, and there's all kind of coon sign along this runoff. A lot of coon tracks, everything else. So I put 3 traps in here. All right, guys, got some traps set out. We'll check them in the morning over the next couple days, and we'll see what we can get out of here. These guys are becoming more and more frequent here. I have 2 bald eagles hang out right around my pond. He's obviously down there eating my fish, which I don't like, but they're rare to see here in Indiana, so yeah. Patriot chicken. It's the next day. I set out a number of traps yesterday. I usually go pretty heavy. I kind of toned it down this time. Bad news is it rained all night, and this morning it's turned over to we got a lot of rain, and this morning it's turned over to snow and sleet. It's flipping cold, but I don't know if the coons moved very good last night. I mean, it poured down all night, so we'll see. We'll go around and check the traps, and we'll see what's happening. Wow, second trap, nothing. I can see the third trap, and that's gonna be nothing. Third trap, nothing. Okay, guys, down here, got a double. Down here where I set these 3 traps. Yeah, a couple little guys. That's a good one over there. He's all muddy. But yeah, right down here in this this dump area, that's kind of a lighter. He isn't muddy. He's kind of a blonde. That is a cool looking coon right there. So yeah, I'm gonna get these 2 dispatched. All right, got those two traps right there reset. The third one over here never did trigger. Got a couple good sized boar coons there. So yeah, they're starting their rutting thing. So 2 down. This is the Duke. This is the single trigger trap. It's been set off. All the bait's gone. So we had a miss here, or a pull out, or I have no idea, but don't look like it's by the ground disturbance or anything pulled out of there. It looked like it was a flat miss. And you know, I've got more misses on the single trigger traps than I have the double. But don't get me wrong, I'm not bad mouthing these Duke traps. These are good traps. There's been thousands upon thousands of coons caught out of these things. So, but it's been my experience, I get better catches with the 2-way trigger rather than the single trigger. So I'm going to go ahead and reset this Duke since it's obviously active here. Hey guys, I just thought I'd give you a quick update on the trapping video. Breaking in here real quick. So it's been about 5 days. The blizzard of 2025 has arrived. So I was out here checking the trap line this morning, and nothing's hitting. So it's been about I'm going to give it about a week. We got 10 and 12 inches of snow coming, they say. So I'm going to give it till after that snowstorm and see what happens there. And then I'm probably going to relocate traps. Right now, I've only got a double. I've only got two coons in a week. That could be good. That could be bad. But I got a creek down on my property, so I'm going to move them down to the creek and get into the woods a little bit and see what we can't turn up. So I'll get with you all after the blizzard subsides. Right now, I'm taking the time to do a little overseeding with the snow coming in and everything. You know, I get out here and I try to, we haven't had a whole lot of snow in the last couple of years, to be honest, but, you know, I do a little overseeding when they're calling for snow. I get out and spread some seed along the field edges, and that snow seems to drive it down there. This domain's some pretty good stuff. I seem to get about 75% yield off of that. I did it last time it snowed, and I was really pleased with it. So just taking some time here to do some overseeding. I'll get back with you on the trap line when I get the traps reset.